AB, comment marker.
I'm Jordan Walker Ross, and I play Little James on The Chosen. Little James was one of the first apostles to follow Jesus. He's someone that has always felt kind of on the outside and not really accepted by society as someone with a visible disability, especially in the first century when that was viewed as, having a curse or your family being cursed. So when this rabbi appeared that immediately accepted him as he is, I think that was something that he had never really experienced before. As someone with a disability in my personal life, having this thing that is different from a young age, and then eventually, because of the way other people might respond to that or treat you because of it, your view of yourself and of your disability starts to shift. And then all of a sudden you start to see it as something to be ashamed of and something to be embarrassed by. The scenes where I get to interact with like Jonathan and ask him why I haven't been healed, that was one of those rare instances as an actor where the line between, make-believe and reality like blurred. At one point on my coverage, Jonathan even referred to me as Jordan instead of as Little James. Normally that would be kind of a weird thing for an actor to do, to refer to your castmate as their real name instead of their character name in a scene. But he was talking to Jordan as much as he was talking to Little James. And one of our crew members was standing right next to me, and she broke down and had to excuse herself from set, and afterwards came up and was explaining that she has a child with cerebral palsy, and which is what I have. And hearing this scene between Little James and Jesus, and hearing the answer for why he's not healed, and hearing Little James kind of plea with him and go through all of these different stages of grief, it was a lot, and it was really moving for her. And it was, on one hand, the easiest scene I've ever been a part of, but on another hand, it was, the most difficult because of how personal it was. But I think what he really brings to the group is a loyalty and a devotion to the group and to Jesus. I loved in the script how it was Simon Peter, Simon Z, and James are the ones that jump in front of Jesus and fight the Pharisees, push them back. And Little James is probably the last one you'd expect, like maybe him and Matthew, you'd expect to be in the very back or something. But James isn't afraid of that at all. He's been in pain his whole life. So whatever pain is coming, like any physical danger, it's like, is that all you've got? I'm in constant pain. So if what you're trying to scare me with is more physical pain, it's like, bring it on. He hasn't really had anyone to stand up for him and fight for him his whole life until now. And now that he does have that, he's willing to stand up and fight for them too. He'll do anything it takes to protect them, especially Jesus. That's, I think, kind of where Little James is at in season 5. He's beginning to slowly find his voice. There's something in him that shows he is capable of leading people. And I think slowly we're starting to see that a little bit more. There's you watch football, there's a really vocal leaders that are yelling in the huddle and pushing offensive linemen when they get sacked. But then there's the ones that get sacked, they get up and they go right back out and keep playing and kind of have that I'm going to keep doing my job and lead by example. And I think Little James is kind of that kind of leader. You're seeing glimpses of that, a bit of foreshadowing, I think, for what's to come, way down the road in his future.
Hey there, I'm Dallas. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and I'm on our set here in Italy. Now, I don't know where you are, but you are watching one of our videos. And if you have just a quick moment, you could hit that subscribe button or that notification bell if you haven't yet. You could hit the like button. You could make a comment. All of those things help get our videos out to more people and make sure that you're notified every time we have something new. See you soon.